Today, we're diving into an idea that's, well, it's pretty radical. It could completely upend the way AI is built and controlled. So I want you to imagine a future where AI isn't owned by just a few big tech companies. Instead, it's this wild, open, maybe even chaotic thing that belongs to everyone. That's the world of decentralized AI, and we really need to get our heads around what it actually means.
I mean, it seems like a simple question, right? But the answer, the implications, are just massive. You know, for as long as we've had modern AI, someone has been in charge. A company, a government, some big research lab. But what if you just took that away? What happens when you remove that single point of control? What if an AI belongs to all of us, and at the same time, to nobody at all? So, to really get where this is all heading, we've got to start with where we are right now. And that means talking about the current rulers of the AI kingdom, the gatekeepers.
I mean, just think about it for a second. The AIs that we're already using every single day, the ones writing your emails, helping you code, creating those incredible images, they're all built and controlled inside these digital fortresses. That's what Google, OpenAI, and Meta are. They're the gatekeepers. They get to decide which AIs get released, what rules get programmed into them, and who gets the keys to the kingdom. It's an unbelievably small group of people holding all the cards.
So, this really lays out the two sides of the coin. On one hand, you've got centralized AI. That's the old world, the one we're in now. Control is top-down, everything is a corporate secret, a total black box, and the whole point is to make a ton of money for the company. But on the other hand, you have this new frontier, decentralized AI. Here, control is spread out. Everything is open for you to see. And the money, the value, it goes back to the people who are actually helping to run the network. It's a totally different ballgame.
Right. So what is this algorithm unbound? I mean, how on earth does an AI run with nobody in charge? Let's get into the nuts and bolts of it.
Okay, so here's the core idea. The goal is basically to turn AI into something like electricity or water, a public utility, instead of a product that one company owns and sells. So we're not talking about one company's servers sitting in some massive data center. No, this is about a collective. It's an AI that's alive on thousands, maybe millions, of computers all across the globe, all working together based on open, shared rules.
So how does this whole thing actually work in practice? Well, it really comes down to three key steps. Step one, the AI models are open source. Their code, their blueprints, it's all public. Anyone can look at it. No more secrets. Step two, the computing power. You need a ton of power to run these things, right? Well, instead of one company paying for it, it's distributed. Thousands of people, maybe even you, can contribute a little bit of your computer's power to help run the network. And finally, step three, how do you keep track of all that? Blockchain. And look, forget all the crypto hype for a second. Just think of it as a super transparent public ledger. It keeps track of who's helping, rewards them for it, and even lets them vote on where the whole project goes next.
Okay, so now that we know how it works, we can start to see the incredible promise here. And this isn't just some tech nerd fantasy. This model has some seriously powerful, almost utopian benefits. So, the first huge benefit? Radical transparency. I mean, for the first time ever, we could actually pop the hood and see what's going on inside. We could see the exact data an AI was trained on, we could check out its programming, its safety rules, all of it. This is a game changer for building trust and for catching hidden biases before they blow up and cause real damage.
Next up, this thing is basically unstoppable. Think about it. If an AI is running on thousands of different computers all over the planet, no one company, no one government can just pull the plug. There is no kill switch. It becomes seriously censorship resistant. And for people like activists or journalists living under oppressive governments, that's not just a feature, it's a lifeline. It's a guarantee that access to information can't just be switched off.
And finally, let's talk about the money, because this is a big one. Remember the early days of the internet? You had these closed-off services like AOL that looked like they were going to rule the world. But in the end, the open internet, the one we all use, won out. Well, decentralized AI is kind of like that. The idea is that instead of all the value, all the billions of dollars, going to just a couple of giant companies, it gets shared. It goes directly to the people actually making the network possible, the folks contributing their data and their computing power. But, okay, hold on, because every utopia has its dark side, right? All this freedom, all this openness, it comes with some genuinely scary new risks. In fact, the very things that make this technology so powerful are also what make it so incredibly dangerous.
And this really gets to the heart of the problem, doesn't it? If someone uses a decentralized AI to create deepfakes or run a massive scam or spread lies that hurt people, who's responsible? Who do you blame? Who do you hold accountable?
When the responsibility is spread across thousands of anonymous people all over the world, accountability just evaporates. It's gone. This right here is the critical trade-off. Every single promise we just talked about has a dark flip side. So that radical transparency that's supposed to build trust, well, it also creates a total accountability vacuum. That unstoppable resilience, that means safety guardrails are totally optional, which makes it way too easy for people to create really harmful stuff. And that fair new economic system, it can turn into total chaos, where the richest people with the most tokens call all the shots, or where there's just no quality control at all.
And this really nails the core ethical problem. A system like this, one that's driven only by money, doesn't have a conscience. It doesn't care about what's good or bad. It just gives people whatever they're willing to pay for. So if there's a market for something harmful or divisive or downright dangerous, the network is built to serve that market. It's optimizing for profit, not for what's good for us.
So, where does all this leave us? We've got this incredible promise on one side and this terrifying peril on the other. Maybe the best way to think about this whole thing isn't as just another tool, but as something completely different.
This quote just hits so hard because it gets to the very core of this. With the AIs we have now, the centralized ones, if something goes wrong, we have someone to blame. We can point the finger at a company. We can demand they fix it, or we can use the kill switch. But with a decentralized AI, there's no one to blame. There's no one to call. The algorithm is just a reflection of us, of all our wants, our demands, our hopes, and our darkest impulses. It's a mirror, a perfect, unflinching mirror held right up to our faces.
So what's the end game here? Where is this all going? Well, it seems like we're heading towards one of three possible futures. Path number one, re-centralization. The big companies figure out a way to take over these networks, and we end up right back where we started. Path number two, balkanization. The world splinters into hundreds of different AIs. Some are safe, corporate approved, others are basically the Wild West. Or, path number three, a whole new kind of balance. A future where our trust isn't based on some corporate PR statement, but on cold, hard math and code that anyone can check for themselves. And so we're left with this one last, kind of haunting question. An algorithm that's controlled by nothing more than the raw, unfiltered sum of everything humanity wants? Is that the most honest system we could ever build? Or, by tearing down all the guardrails, is it the most terrifying? The crazy thing is, the answer is probably both. And now we have to figure out how we're going to live with what we see in that mirror.